I was up here talking and I didn't even realize I wasn't live yet. I don't even know if you guys are here. Good morning, everyone. God bless. Good morning. Hey, D. D, I was on here talking to y'all and I realized I wasn't even on live stream yet. Hold on, let me fix my pillow. That's so sweet, Anita. Dave's not here yet, babe. He's at work. He's on his way home, though. My poor baby got to stop at the shopping store for me because I wanted a few things. Welcome to Brooklyn Squad. Good morning. It's your girl Jay, and I'm back at it again. I'm back at it again with another video. Hey, Evelyn. Yeah, Dave's on his way home now. Good morning, Brooklyn Squad. It's your girl Jay, and I'm back at it again with another video. So if you're new, welcome. Get what you got to get. Have a seat. Buckle it up. And just be open-minded and try not to judge. And for my other Brooklyn babies, I love y'all so much. I want to thank y'all for rocking with your girl for a hot minute now. 5 people, 5 thumbs up. Also, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, please, so that you know when your girl is going to drop another video. Okay? Please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We need 800 subscribers, guys. 800 more so I can get monetized. Please, please help me. Please help me. Please. Oh. I feel better today. Thank you for asking. You know, your girl was kind of down yesterday. Guys, also don't forget to keep your notification bells on because sometimes YouTube be, I don't know, they be bugging sometimes, okay? And also, you guys know that I'm trying to build a brand here, which is merchandise, okay? Merchandise that I'm so excited to build. So it's going to be a process, and I know this. And it's going to take some learning skills, and I know this. And that's why Ms. V is teaching everyone how to be their own boss. So please, there's the PayPal. My PayPal and Cash App is in the little box right there where it says Brooklyn Squad. Don't give your last, but if you could donate something, that'd be amazing. Because what I'm doing is I'm holding it all on the side so that when Miss V, when I start asking her for one-on-ones to sit down with me and teach me certain things and stuff like that. And when it's time for me to get to that level and start building my platform with merchandise, at least we'll have a little something in the bank to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate those that have donated. Please understand the donation is not for my bills. It is not for my light or my cable or my rent. The donations is for Brooklyn Squad. And when I mean that from my heart. Okay? So I just wanted to get that clear out there. Even though if I had a little struggle like we did the other day, I could have took some of the money, a little bit of that money out of Brooklyn Squad's donation, but I didn't. I didn't touch it. So when I say, please, if you would like to help and donate a little something, I would be appreciated for that because I am over here giving content like a mother effer, building my platform. Okay? So, Lakeisha Douglas, and hey, boo. So, y'all, yesterday, before we get into everything, Yesterday, I wanted to come on here with you guys, but I was so tired and so drained. And this is why I told y'all I don't like taking the sleeping medicine that prescribed to me. I'm going to have to ask my doctor to switch over to something else. But I don't sleep well, and y'all know that. So I think yesterday it finally hit me. And it dragged me hard, y'all. I was so fatigued I couldn't even pick up the phone and talk to anybody. One of my subscribers was calling me and I couldn't even answer it because I was so tired. I laid down and I got some good sleep. I woke up around 5:40 this morning. So amen. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Hey Lakeisha. Hey Anita. Hey D. In the building. In the building. So, y'all see what we're talking about today, right? I'm gonna try not to make this so many hours, cause I gotta cook for hubby and stuff like that. So, um, which is not gonna be a big dinner today that I thought it was. So, Jelani Day is somebody that we feel like he was family. Jelani Day was smart, intelligent, handsome, and a very important young man. And the reason I say very important because he had to donate some of him to his father. Jelani Day was gonna become the best doctor that anyone probably could be. He was kind, loving, and he was a family man. Did I know Jelani Day? No, but I'm telling you from what his cousin told us on Brooklyn Squad. Remember, his cousin said Jelani would do vacations where it was just going to be a cousin's vacation, all cousins. And they was actually planning one before he was murdered. He was back and forth to see his dad. His dad was really sick. He studied his behind off. Even though he partied, he still had good grades. And someone decided that that wasn't good enough. Someone decided, out of their own free will, to take his life away from his mother, his father, his brothers, his sisters, his friends. But wait, friends. Did he have friends? Because from what we was told from Sev, he had no friends. His friends were Sev friends, was his brother's friends. But he had Jackson from since they were kids. Him and Jackson, they were buddy buddy, right? When they were kids and stuff growing up. At least that's what I was told. Justice for Jelani Day continues to ride for the Day family. Aw, that's cute, D. Yes, of course. Of course. You know how it is. But justice for all. Justice for everybody that lost a loved one. You know? Justice for all that lost a loved one. Justice for Danye Jones, who was hung in his mother's backyard on a tree. How sick is that? They decided to take him away from his mother and his friends and family also. Danye Jones' mother was an advocate, and he was too. Fighting for us out there, man, day and night. Yes, D, yes. Justice for everyone who lost their children through murder and suicide. Because suicide is a big thing out there. There's millions of people that commit suicide. But in this case, this wasn't suicide. This was cold blooded murder. Cold blooded murder. And we're going to talk about it. Even if I have to do part 1 and 2. Because I got time today. Okay. I got time today. A little bit. I got some time today. I gotta cook for the hubby, but he don't want nothing but breakfast for dinner. Child, please. And before I start, give me 1 second, Brooklyn Squad. I'm sorry. I gotta get this thing right. When I do my interviews, I don't want to be wobbling all over the place and stuff. You know what I mean? Every time I move, because I have this placed on my bed. I gotta give me a desk or something. I mean, I could use this, but then it's gonna be a whole project. But you know what? That's what I might do next time. Okay, do y'all remember? Ouch. I'm a mess today, y'all. Y'all can talk about me later. Danye Jones. If y'all remember Danye Jones, just type yes in the comments. If y'all remember Danye Jones, type yes in the comments. Thank you, D. Well, his mother, I asked for an interview this morning, and she said yes. I don't know what day yet, but I'll get with her another later on and talk about the day and time, and then I bring it to you guys. You know that already. Because I want you the guys to hear from her what happened to her son. You guys heard it from me a little bit, a couple times, and you're gonna hear it again today. But I think that for me, let me explain something to you. When I'm doing stories, right, on Pacific things that's going on, like with Jelani and Dante and a lot of other people that was murdered, I know you guys can hear it from me, but it's not always factual. But when you hear it from the family, that's facts. I could tell the story a little bit, but then I'm gonna ask the family to tell the story. Just like with Aaliyah, just like with Shanae Harris, the deputy cop. He came on and I interviewed him because he knows what happened with his He don't know what where she's at, but I'm just saying like he can tell you more than I can. Aaliyah's mother, Miss Denise, she knows her daughter, so it was better for her to tell her story. Now Miss Melissa, and I want to stay her by her last name. I just want to make sure I'm getting, cause I don't want, me and names. I start messing people names up and stuff. I don't like doing that. Miss McKenzie, Melissa McKenzie. So I will be having her on the channel, and when I figure out when we talk and do the time and date and stuff like that, I will let you guys know. But I think that's very important. I think that if you're going to do a case, and some people can't find the family, some people don't want to talk to YouTubers or podcasters, but I think it's important to at least try to get someone, or even a family, even a friend of the person, because they could tell y'all better than we can. We didn't know the individual. I didn't know Jelani, but his cousin came on my platform and she told us who Jelani was. Loving, caring spirit, funny, goofy, loved to dance and cook. Like she told us who he was. And then she told us what happened. But it was best to hear it from her. Now, Danye Jones, I told you a little something. And we also listened to a recording, and I was shocked. And we're going to finish some of that recording today. But his mother's going to come and tell you what happened because she knows the story better than I do or you do. Right? Right. So let's get into it, Brooklyn Squad. Let's talk about Jelani. Hey, Katie. So I'm really grateful that she said yes. And yeah, let's get into it. Jelani Day. Jelani Day was seen at the restaurant, right? He oh boy. Jelani. He was at that restaurant with some girls. Child. Now, Jelani's cousin said that he didn't have a girlfriend. Remember, she came on my channel and I asked her, was he involved with Carol Booster? And she said no. And I said, did he have a girlfriend? And she said no, he was busy with friends. He was busy doing his schoolwork and stuff like that. Well, we know that he was at the restaurant, right, that day. Take a look at those girls. I know you've seen this 100 times. Look at his face. What is that telling you? I'm the man. Look at a hand gesture. Look at his hands. What? I'm the man. I love this. I ain't gonna front. I love this picture with Jelani. Okay. Oh, you have a headache? I had a migraine the other day, girl. I hope you feel better, babe. Remember when I told you that I called the restaurant, right? And the young lady that paid for the bill's name was Amanda Reed. Reeds. I'm trying to say her name right, y'all. Forgive me if I can't say it correctly. Amanda Reeves. Well, this is Amanda Reeves. Remember, I showed you the other day and I said, I'm not sure if that's her, but it might be. And then Miss Katie pulled up something the other day, and it was a young lady that said, I love you so much, Jelani. Remember that? Remember her name was Erin Longstone? She's in a relationship also with Isaac. Don't know how long the relationship was, so I'll get into that another time. Damn, I have to answer this, man. I'm sorry. Hello? Who's who? Oh, hi. I'm on live right now. Can I call you back? Is it so, is anything okay? Oh, oh, okay. I'll call you back. Oh, wait. You want to come this week? Okay. Anyway, sorry. That was housing. Had to pick it up. Y'all know how it go. Only pick up my phone when it's important. When it's important, that's it. So I apologize. Okay, so let's go back now. So I was just looking, being nosy, trying to find out who's who, see who's people's and who's friends, you know. And when I came around to this, I was like, oh, okay. They're friends. So, and it's not surprising because they went to the same school, right? But I just want you to put this in your mind for a second. And this might not be even real. Who knows? Amanda Reeves is friends with the young lady that said, I love you, Jelani. Okay. And she's also friends with CARA Booster on Facebook. I messaged them. They didn't message back yet. I tried to call, FaceTime, no response. I just want to point out a few things because none of us know what happened to this young man. But we do know this. We know that on the 20th, he went to that restaurant and Amanda Reese paid. Now Amanda Reese has a boyfriend and she's in a relationship. And like Kate said, it might have been a meet and greet because he just started that school. So it could have been a meet and greet. We don't know. We don't know. But why a meet and greet with only females? Where's the rest of the men at? That's kind of alarming to me. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But where are the rest of the? Is there any other men besides Jelani there? Because there, I didn't see no other guys there. I just seen a bunch of chicks, and Jelani's like, you know what I'm saying? That cute little smile he got. Well, he didn't even smile, but he was stunned. Good morning, E. D. And then a few days later, his car, his body, his clothes. I don't understand that at all. I'm like really confused about this big time. Because it's people that we might be saying, oh, they probably did it or they probably did it. But how about if we're looking in the wrong direction? Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all believe in certain things, but the other day I had a dream, right? And I didn't see Jelani's face or I didn't see Aaliyah's face, but a person in my dream said, y'all looking at the wrong direction. And I don't know if that's Aaliyah's case or Dante's or sorry, or Giovanni's case. But the person in my dream said, you're looking at the wrong direction. Thank you, D. I appreciate that. So sweet. Yes, please hit those buttons, those like buttons. Thank you. So I'm like, wow, that's something that just I don't know, kind of, but it just takes me a place that don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm taking a picture, where's everybody else at? So if this was a meet and greet, it's just all females. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. It's something weird with that. I don't know, guys. It's just something that don't make sense. This is her boyfriend, the one that said I love you, Jelani. And I don't know if I'm taking it to a certain place with it because that I love you, Jelani, so much. When all right, I've said to someone when they pass in, "Oh my God, I love you." But when I'm telling you I love you so much, that's a personal thing, and it could be me being your friend. Also, it don't have to be like me being in a relationship. But there's something connected of me saying so much. I love you so much. That says something to me. I don't know about y'all, but to me it says something. Okay. So, yeah. And remember, Jesse Jackson had already said that two identified white women was with him before he went missing. So could it be some of the girls from the restaurant? Thank you, Patricia. It does though. Be tired. It does, but it's I'm gonna continue doing this because it's justice for the family. I just gotta make sure I eat right and take care of myself as well because I be drained. Well, I don't really sleep though either. So, and this is it. I love you so much. Okay. Jelani Day. Hmm. So we didn't know that he went to summer school before. Because didn't somebody say that one of his family members said he never went to summer school? Hey, Shay Shay. Exactly, D. There was no guys enrolled in that program? I don't know. That don't sound right to me. She said, excellent question. Right. Like, what? Come on now. I don't know. We got some digging to do. Y'all be helping me though. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all know that. So he did go to summer school. He did go to summer school. Because this was his advisor in summer school. Not advisor, what you call that? His mentor, I'm sorry. And she did post something on Facebook saying she was mentoring him. He does very well. She gave him some shout outs and love. So shout out to her, you know. So that's just, the little things that is kind of like someone said, so he was in summer school enrolled. I swear that I heard he didn't do summer school. And the person said, yes, he started in the summer. The second semester began in August. We talked about when he started school, right? And this is the proof. I'm not going to show you the names, but I'll show you the proof. So he was in summer school. I swear they said he didn't do summer school. Y'all see that? And then the girl says, oops. Yes, he started in the second semester beginning in August. Okay. Just saying. Just saying. The cabin video, I don't think that was at this college. I think that was at the school before this. It definitely wasn't at this school. It definitely wasn't at this school. But I need to look into that video. I need to look into that some more. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. I was gonna play y'all that video, but nah. Because I need to look into that some more. It's something not right. I mean, not something not right, but I just need to look at it some more before I bring it to your attention. Professor Cara Booster emotionally responds, raises questions for me. The last person to talk and see a victim is usually the suspect in an unsolved case. Mm, ain't lying about that now. Hmm. Now, I know some of you were thinking that there were two exits and beyond Hello. I think there was only one, but I did send my subscriber and asked her that. And she also said, because she lives around there, she showed me the area. We went to Hello and Beyond when I was on live. I showed you guys that video. So there's one exit, but she's going to double check today. And then I'll definitely let you know for sure. Why didn't he have any dust or anything on that car? It went through the woods and everything. What did the police do? Clean it, shine it all off and stuff? Shine the evidence off, Popo. That's right. That's what we do. That's right. I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. I would like to know, how did his shorts and gym shoes get on the south bank at the river, and his body was so many miles away, exactly on the other end of the river? Wonder how the river currently was flowing. Wondering how the river current was flowing. Right, exactly, D. And we could get into that a little bit because um hold on, let me see first, because I did read you guys something on that. Let me see if I can find it. It's in here, guys. I know it is, because I be saving stuff. Okay, here it is. Even a weighed body would normally float to the surface after 3 or 4 days, exposing it to seabirds and buffeting it from the waves. Perfections and scavenging creatures will dismember the corpse in a week or two, and the bones will sink to the seabed. How long does it take for a body to expose at sea? A week or two. Why was his body like that? That's a problem. And I can just imagine why his body was like that, but a lot of people is still asking why his body's like that, and that's because they tortured and beat that man to death. That's why, allegedly. And I really hope the Day family get justice. I really do. I really, really do. But let's go on to Danye Jones. His mother is fighting, boy. Shout out to Melissa McKenzie. I don't know why it's just like that. Damn. This young man was hung in his mother's backyard on a tree, on a tree, lynched. I don't understand why I can't oh man, shit. Damn. How did I get up there? All right, give me a second, guys. So I'm trying to find something. I don't know what's going on with this. I really don't understand. This was her son. He was hung from a tree, and it looked like to me that his legs were beat up and bruised. Take a look. It looked like his legs were beat up and bruised. This is him and his mother. She's so pretty. Yes, praise. D says, continue. So, what clothing did the two bored college students find? Because in the TV, it was said he had a t shirt, underwear, socks, and sweatshirts wrapped around his waist. Yeah, they said that Jelani had a sweater or something wrapped around his waist. Who would do that, you know? But we're going to talk about that another time, too, because I don't got a lot of time today, but I could come back later and talk about it. But so he was hung from a tree, right? Now we heard some of the podcasts, and it was interesting because it showed us a whole thing of things, and I seen you guys were kind of into it too. Let's see here. Let's see. After the uprising podcast. Here's some information about after the uprising. The death of Danye Jones. When 24-year-old Danye Jones was found hanging from a tree in St. Louis County in 2018, police declared it a suicide. I thought I had that. Oh, really? All right. Let me write that down. I thought I had a pen somewhere. Starving cabin. Thank you, Patricia. Thanks, sis. I'm gonna look at that for you. I'm gonna look that up. All right. The Uprising Podcast app. But you know, though, I think I can go on my app, my podcast thing and look at it. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, I found it. Okay. Because we was listening to a certain damn, I already have mines. I hate that. Anchors. I know, D. I know, girl. Trust me, I know. It's insane. It is insane. After the Uprising podcast on Danye Jones lynching. Oh, okay. I see what it is on it. Okay. Okay. I'm having trouble, guys, but just bear with me. Please just bear with me. I don't know why they always trying to hang us and then say, "Oh, suicide." Like, are you crazy? Ain't nobody commit no suicide. Come on now. All right, I got something, y'all. I forgot. Oh God. All right, we was on. I think the opener of Dante's cell phone leads deeply into the man himself. Not no discover leads our host most deadly back into the suicide theory. Let's go to this one because we was.
University. We feature hundreds of top-rated professors from Stanford, Harvard, Michigan, Texas, UCLA, and other schools across the world to explore history, music, politics, art, science, and much more. Every Wednesday, our weekly scholar newsletter includes 5 fascinating short video clips of our most notable professors discussing a brand new topic, plus special reports and topical debates as well. Sign up for free at onedayu.com. That's ONEDAYU.com. The Black Effect Podcast Network is proud to present the first literally black people. Or to wonder about, is this possibly a lynching? No, it's not.
I kind of want to stick on this because this is really the crux of our whole show. And, about being taken seriously and, in each death being taken seriously and being properly investigated. So right. I guess I would ask, what would you expect from local police and medical examiners when there is an event in which a black person is found hanging outdoors?
Can I say it's most likely to be a suicide than a lynching? I think statistically, yes, because statistically there are more suicides than there are lynchings, as far as I know. But would I want the police department and the medical examiners to really carefully view the scene of the incident? Yes, because I also don't want people to assume that because the person is hanging, that the automatic conclusion is it's a suicide, because in the black community that may not be true. And I also don't think it's fair to dismiss it as the family's in denial or they can't deal with the reality of what's going on, because lynching is a reality for black people. It's not something to be dismissed. Is it difficult to make these judgment calls depending on the method and what the scene looks like at the place of death, point of death? Yes, I'm acknowledging that it is difficult. It's not always clear cut. That's true.
Delicious. How'd you make this perfect picnic?
I just went A to Z and packed in plenty of matcha.
For 11-hydroxy-THC and carboxy-THC. Since these metabolites can linger in the body for a long time, we called the time painful and he died.
So later in 2018.
Yeah, this was before he went to.
This is what. Okay, so and then this is also the time when he expresses to you.
Yeah.
I'm also depressed.
Yeah.
When he came back after going to Idaho, he came home and then started staying with his mother and with Derek. Was he still coming over a lot in that time?
Yeah, he would come to see Damon because Damon would cut his hair. But it wasn't, we didn't have any more conversations about his depression. He just asked how I was feeling.
Okay.
Without any visible wounds and with the chair turned over near the tree, it was decided that Danye died by suicide. His best friend Damon doesn't question that conclusion, but only wonders what if. What if he had gotten with Danye that day? Listening to this show and thinking about the facts of the case, we're sure that you listeners have probably wondered, how would it be possible to hang someone against their will without hurting them first? We've asked ourselves that question over and over, and so we have imagined a variety of scenarios. When imagining how someone could get the drop on Danye, the first thing people might wonder is if Danye had been drugged. The toxicology report on Danye only found metabolites of cannabis. His urine was positive for 11-hydroxy-THC and carboxy-THC. Since these metabolites can linger in the body for a long time, we called the toxicology lab to ask if they thought Danye was high when he died.
What was the person's name on this case?
The person's name was Danye Jones. The report says that there was some THC metabolites found within the urine sample, but it does not list the units. On the header page, it says result confirmed present, and then following it, there's like a space for units, but it's blank.
Hold on. Let me try to pull this case file up here and see if I can look at it and see what you're talking about. So what are you trying to do though? Like, what are you trying to figure out though? Like,
I'm trying to
get the units. What does that mean though? Like,
I wanted to know, is this something that was residual in this person's system from like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior to them dying, or were they high when they died?
So, if you're a smoker, depending upon how heavy of a smoker you are, you can test positive weeks or even a couple months later, certainly, depending on what level of a smoker you are. So it's possible that this person could have smoked 2 weeks ago.
In the case, it sort of matters if the person was using right then and there, or if it was like 2 weeks prior. So,
I can't answer that. You need to subpoena somebody to find out some real information. Unless you're part of law enforcement or something, you're probably not going to be able to get that.
It's just that because it doesn't list the quantity found.
So if it was done in the urine, does it say it was done in urine?
Yeah, it says specimen U1, which they list as the urine.
That's why. That's what I can tell you. Because the urine wasn't quantitated, it was just confirmed present.
Is there a way to know if this person was high that night, or is there no way to know that?
Okay. Certainly there is, yeah. My opinion would be no.
Would there have been something else found besides these metabolites had they been high at the moment?
They would have been shot. They would have shot up.
It all started in 1974 when we were the original source for New York creatives. Today, Adorama's got it all. Photography, gaming, music, and more. But one thing hasn't changed. No matter your medium, Adorama helps you create no matter what.
I messed up on that, sorry. All right, hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
New on Curiosity.
The streets was gonna handle it, Dante Jones. Yes, Patricia, I'm gonna start doing that.
We feature hundreds of top-rated professors from Stanford, Harvard, Michigan, Texas, UCLA, and other schools across the world to explore history, music.
And he was trying to scam us.
The county police department was asserting that they had sent Melissa a letter telling her to come and claim the sheet, and that she had 30 days to do so. They claimed the letter was sent on January 23rd, and since Melissa did not retrieve the sheet within 30 days of that, the property department destroyed it. Now, We will be digging into the details of all this in a future episode, but we do want to note that upon learning the sheet was destroyed, we immediately sent a sunshine request to the St. Louis County PD Records Department. We asked for every record they had relating to evidence in the Danye Jones case, with a specific ask for anything regarding the bedsheet. We were quickly sent a reply email that listed the pieces of evidence in Danye's case. So, just to help you understand this, each piece of evidence in the case file has its own evidence receipt. And in Danye's case, the evidence police had was a blood sample card, a CD with the recordings of Melissa's and Daniel's 911 calls, and the bed sheet he was hanged with. However, the rapid response we got from St. Louis County to our sunshine request did not include an evidence receipt for the bed sheet, which to us was very odd. If the bed sheet had been destroyed in early March of 2020, as the county police were claiming, then why was the evidence receipt for the sheet not returned to Danye's case file before June, when we requested it? We would presume that after evidence is destroyed, the evidence receipt would be promptly returned to the case file, so that any officer who needed to reference the file would know that that piece of evidence had at one point existed. So if the sheet was destroyed in early March, as they claimed, why for over 3 months had the evidence receipt not been returned to the case file? We asked both the Records Department and Information Officer Sergeant Benjamin Granda to explain this, but neither would give us an explanation. The destruction of the bedsheet and where it sent us is going to be the subject of a future episode. But first, there is another pressing set of developments we need to share. The data extraction company in Texas where we sent Danye's Android phone succeeded in bypassing his passcode, and they gave us a whole data map of the phone's contents.
Hello?
Hi, my name's John Duffy, and I'm actually an investigative journalist, and I'm doing a story about a young man named Danye Jones, who I believe you had some real estate dealings with maybe 2 years ago.
I don't believe so, no.
You don't
I
remember?
haven't had any real estate dealings with somebody. Oh, maybe, is he a black gentleman?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I do remember him. I was selling a house for my brother-in-law, and he was trying to scam us.
He was trying to scam you.
Yes.
I'm going to start off by letting you know that Danye has passed away, and the circumstances surrounding his death were sort of mysterious. I got your
I didn't know that, yeah.
and I got your phone number through his phone, and I just saw text messages between you and him. Can I have your first name? Do you mind telling me?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, hi. Do you have any objection to kind of telling me what went down with him trying to get your house, or what that was like?
Well, what it was we were selling it. It was just a cash deal, you know. He was wanting $12,000 for the house, and the guy said, "Okay, you know, I'm gonna run this through my company, blah blah blah, and we got to get a title search done, which will take a couple days, and then, you know, then we'll buy the house or whatever." Well, a month goes by, and he's still not committed. Well, he's messaging me saying this and saying that, but in actuality, he was never had any intentions of doing anything about it. But he said that my brother-in-law signed a contract stating that he had a month to do anything about it and everything. So.
And then what happened at the end?
We got tired of dealing with him because he was just bullshitting is what he was.
When you met him in person, was there anything you remember about him? Anything that stood out or anything like that?
No, not really.
Okay.
The car and vehicles he drove didn't look like he had, like, straight up cash to purchase houses. Like, he was talking, like, he was saying that, you know, he bought houses all day long and stuff, but he just didn't look like he had the knowledge or anything to be doing any of that.
What kind of car did he show up in?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay.
It was
Financial trouble.
I got a problem with that. She immediately said, "Oh, is he black?" And then it looked like he didn't have certain priorities like money, basically. Let me just put it out there. How she was saying is basically the way he was dressing, the way he looked, it looked like he didn't have no money anyway, and it looked like he wasn't driving cars and having fancy this and this and that because the way he looked. Also, I could come out and I could look like maybe the way Jelani looked when he went into the dispensary that day, but you gonna look at me because I'm black and say that I don't have money or nothing like that? What? What? Oh, that's what we doing? But see, that's what they've been doing this. Yes, Patricia, I see you. I will get rest. Thank you. But, and also, Patricia, I see you about the comments saying we should put it in order and stuff. I'm working on that. I need some folders and stuff. But thank you. But if you would like to help, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, Patricia. I know you care, babe. Thank you. So I have a problem with that. The first thing she said, why he had to be black? Why couldn't he be Chinese or Italian or Puerto Rican? And by the way he looked, it looked like he wasn't having no money anyway, like he was bullshitting us. So how did you want him to come to you? Did you want him to wear a bunch of jewelry and shit so he could get robbed? See, the way when people be saying things, please catch on to that. Because I got a big problem with that. And that's just me. I don't know. That's just me. We want you to stay. I love you, Patricia. Patricia, something else. Patricia want me to rest up. I know, Mama. I will, though. I will. I know y'all care, and I appreciate that.
Couple maybe.
Oops. Okay. Yeah, it takes forever to play. And this episode is called "The Streets Was Gonna Handle It."
Oh, 2 weeks later. Maybe that's why we never heard from him again. I don't know.
The last thing he writes to you is, "I'll contact you in a bit," and that's on October 2nd. And then you just wrote, "Okay," and that was about noon. And it looked like he was trying to come over, like arrange like a time to come over to look at the house or something. And that was the last thing that you guys had.
And I believe he did. I believe he did come over that day. But, we just told him that we were tired of the back and forth.
Do you feel like you maybe remember, like, if the last thing he said to you was still along the lines of, don't worry, I'm going to buy this?
Yeah. That's basically that's what he kept saying the whole time.
Because he's definitely in contact with finance people and other things like that. And maybe that is why it never
happened. Right.
Delicious. How'd you make this perfect picnic?
I just went A to Z.
And it was a very emotional, frustrating time. My dad had just had 4 strokes. I mean, besides that, I don't, but...
8th, 9th, 10th. Did you have his card?
And flipping houses. He was messaging a lot of people, asking a lot of questions about this or that house, talking numbers, and occasionally trying to move the conversation forward towards some sort of contract sale deal. We can see that he was watching YouTube videos on various elements of the real estate world, and also Google searching for explanations of various terms and concepts. His Instagram profile shows that he was trying to sell a few houses over the river in Illinois, in places like Murfreesboro and Granite City. And on September 5th and 6th of 2018, he posted photos to his Instagram of 3 different houses with the word sold photoshopped across them in large text. Unfortunately, as Danye was diving into the world of wholesale real estate, he wouldn't necessarily take possession of these properties himself and might only be facilitating a purchase between a seller and a different buyer. So no record at a county office would necessarily signify his involvement.
Exactly, Kate.
So we couldn't confirm if these were actual sales or if Danye was just posting these photos to make it appear as if he had succeeded in various deals.
Hello?
Hi, my name is John Duffy. I'm a journalist. I'm working on a story about a young man named Danye Jones, who I think 2 years ago had some real estate or attempted real estate dealings with you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So
that's a name that I didn't want to ever hear again.
This is Corey. We found a long series of texts between Danye and her in which she was very angry because apparently on October 5th, 2018, Danye was supposed to close on purchasing her house, which he said he would buy with cash, sight unseen, seemingly to flip, but he never showed up to the closing. I don't know if you know this, but he's dead, and we've been basically just kind of running down his story, and then in his phone, I found some text messages with you where you seemed pretty upset at him about missing a closing or something like that.
Oh, yeah, he was supposedly in a real estate investor, and we were trying to sell our home, and he strung us along for a really long time, and then never even showed up for the closing on the property. And so we missed several opportunities in the meantime. So that's really it. Just made our life miserable.
So he was telling you he was going to buy your house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys had that all worked out? You had the price all worked out and everything?
Yeah, we had all the papers. Yeah, everything was all done.
And then he just never came to finish it?
Yeah.
And then what happened at the end when he didn't come?
Well, we tried getting in touch with him, and we just weren't hearing anything back. He just kind of ghosted us. We ended up finding someone else, and were able to sell the house pretty quickly after all that. But yeah, it was just he definitely did not present himself the way that it seemed that he really was. He really was not professional, and it was a very emotional, frustrating time. My dad had just had 4 strokes. I mean, besides that, we never even met him. Everything was just through, like I said, I think it was just his Facebook Messenger. It was really sad that something bad happened to him. What happened?
It's been decided that it was a suicide officially.
That's tragic.
Yeah, and it was only 13 days after your house closing, or not even, like 12. He was definitely attempting to be a real estate investor, and what we've been trying to kind of figure out is, did he owe anybody money? Was he in the hole?
Wow, that's terrible. Did you know him?
I did not know him. I became aware of his death shortly after it happened because of the circumstances. It got a little bit of national coverage because, of course, you're aware he was a young black man, and he was hanging in a tree in his mother's backyard. And
oh my goodness, his poor mother.
It might seem that between Jennifer and Corey, Danye was not exactly doing a great job of the whole real estate thing. But those were the only 2 people we found in all of his contacts and conversations who were angry with him. So as far as we can tell, that's the entire book of evidence on his business failing. We also spoke to a man named Wardell, who was seemingly working with Danye on a deal.
Okay, so I get what he's doing. Dante wasn't too good at real estate, but he was just beginning, it looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was new at this. It's like when you're new at something and you really want to get a good try for, but it just doesn't work out, but you keep trying because you don't want to give up, and then you keep it just doesn't. Well, that's what it looked like. He kept trying, but things just wasn't working out for him, but he kept trying anyway. But who was so mad at him that they would want to hang him? So I think that's what this podcaster guy is trying to do. Find out what was the narrative of it. Who was so mad at him? Who would do something like this? I know, Patricia, baby. I know. Thank you so much. Thank you, D. I appreciate it. Oh, take half of it? When I take half of it, it does nothing. It does nothing. I have to take 2. But I'm gonna get that straightened out though. But I want to really, yeah. But thank you. I appreciate it so much. Aw. So I guess he's trying to see, like, well, who was that mad at him, right? Okay, let's see. And those little girls, us girls.
With me, Katie Curran, are available now on the iHeartRadio app.
Sent out to Danye on the 16th at 2:43 p.m.
He wanted me to come down there with him.
And
I was just like, no, not right now. He's like, well, you can come see it.
Pull me over every time I get a chance. I make sure everything is correct. My car.
I deal car. I'm a dealer.
So you're in Idaho. Are you in Boise?
In a Boise, yes.
This is Ahmad. He's a used car dealer, and he sold Danye his Lexus.
he bought a Lexus 1998 or 1999. I sold the car with a $500 down payment or $600 down payment. He said I'm a construction worker.
So low.
Anything else you remember about him? I'm interested in hearing.
I need him a couple times because he's coming in, grab his car. He was a really quiet guy, not talking so much. He's a really cool guy. Anything he told me straight, say, hey bro, I don't have money that much. This time I'm gonna make it, this time I'm gonna get my salary or something.
Apparently, on several occasions, Danye missed making his car payments, and he would call up Ahmad and work it out.
So sometimes he would just miss payments, and then he'd have to kind of deal with, wheel and deal back with you to try to get square.
Yeah, and if he's gonna miss payment or something like that, he can contact with me, say, hey bro, I'm behind this month or this month, something like that. I'm working on it. I'm not that kind of greedy. Say no, bring the car back.
Really, Shay Shay?
Did you feel that he was honest?
Oh,
He was
wow.
honest, yes.
So he wasn't too bad to work with.
No.
I'm going to
he
be
wasn't.
interviewing his mother soon.
And you kind of probably deal
Well, I
with
don't
this
know
a
what
lot.
day
People
yet,
just
but she
kinda-
did say yes.
Oh yeah, that's worse than this people. People like most people, they say.
So, Shay Shay, you never heard of the Dante case? Oh, wow. You go back. You on Facebook? Hit me up on Facebook so I can send you a few things and then we could talk or whatever. Hit me up on Facebook. Or usually that's where my sons be catching me on. Facebook Messenger. Jasmine Jackson's just look for that. Oh, wow. I think someone was mad because it put them behind and closing in their home. Money could have been lost. That's why this is my first time listening to this one, because we've done the videos of some of them before and we was up to this part, because I remember looking at it saying, oh, the streets were calling. I mean, the streets were gonna handle it. So that's when I stopped it. So this is the part we was already up to. That's a very good point, D. Right. And that's what I was saying. Who was so mad? And that's why I guess he's trying to get people to talk about what happened with Dante and why didn't the deal go through and this and this and that. But there's other people too. It's not just them. So we're gonna have to dig into this stuff. This one right here, this case. Yeah. Let's continue. Because I heard his friends, his ex-girlfriend talking too.
Turn on my car and get it. I'm gonna give you this much money or something. Never show up and never call me back. Then I'm gonna shut off the car back.
Ahmad had a kill switch installed in the cars that he sold that was fixed to a GPS system. So if people who bought cars from him on credit missed their payments, he could shut off their cars remotely.
His last text messages with you were around like October 8th, 9th, 10th. Did you have his car turned off at that time? How do you turn the car off? Can you just explain that to me?
When you sold the car on the payment, there's a GPS installed on the system. When the payment not bring it on, we're gonna go to the system. When you turn them off, the car completely shut down. Like a key is lost until I'm gonna turn on back from the computer.
So this explains Danye's car being down the week he died. We can see in the text.
Didn't do nothing, DD. I took one.
Turn off the car while waiting $436.64 from Danye. But Danye was also claiming that there were issues with the battery and the radiator. Looking through Danye's YouTube history, we see that he watched several videos on how to remove a GPS kill switch from a car. And we kind of glossed over it, but it's probably a good time to focus on the fact that, yes, Danye bought the car in Boise, Idaho. In 2017, Danye took off from St. Louis and moved to Colorado, where he lived and worked briefly before moving to Boise. Looking at his Google location data, we can see that he actually drove all the way to the Puget Sound area of Washington State before circling back to Colorado. Militia and Danye's grandmother, Gloria, told us what they knew about Danye's time living in Boise.
Everything's so beautiful that I kind of overlook. But the things, he was pulled over so many times. He had a decent car. He had a nice job, decent car. And because of it,
they would call him nigger.
He kept saying, Grandma, he said, I'm gonna get you a plane ticket. I want you to see the scenery. It may be a lot of racist things going on. He said, but Grandma, the scenery is so pretty. It's so peaceful. He said, yeah, they pull me over every time they get a chance. I make sure everything is correct. My car, they asked him, what is they're doing driving a car like this. It was the Lexus. They were just continuously, they pulled him over, continuously called my name and everything. But he just thought about the peaceful, how pretty it is. He really wanted to make sure, Grandma, I'll pay for your flight to come here, and you could just see the mountains and the areas and see how pretty.
At One Day University, we feature hundreds of top-rated.
Now, did you hear what she said? He had a good job. He had nice cars. He had clothes. He had things. He had money. But that other lady, the black guy, well, he didn't look the way he was dressing. It didn't look like he had anything. Don't judge a person by its cover. Don't do that, because you don't know what the person got. Maybe that day he didn't feel like getting jiggy with it. Like when Jelani went into the dispensary, people were like, oh, why he wearing that? Because he was comfortable at home. He probably didn't have no plans on going out to no weed spot. So don't never judge a book by its color.
Professors from Stanford.
When he got close to my birthday, he wanted to come down.
States, etc. It's all kind of boring. But the long and short of it is, the case was eventually dismissed.
When he left, he didn't tell no one. He just left.
This is Deja again. She says that when Danye moved west, he didn't tell anybody he was going. One day he just packed up and drove off. Melissa once told us that Danye went to Colorado because weed was legal there. What drew him north to Idaho is sort of a mystery. He tried to convince not only his grandmother to visit, but seemingly even tried to convince Deja to move there, to be with him.
He had reached out to me, I think, on Facebook, and he just tell me how he was doing good out of town, working for some construction place where he was painting and basically refurbishing places. I was like, oh, okay, that's real good. And he was trying to get me to come down there, and I was just like, oh, I don't know about that one.
Out to Idaho?
And my daughter, yeah, he wanted me to come down there with him.
And then
I was just like, no, not right now. He's like, well, you can come visit. When he got close to my birthday, he wanted to come down for my birthday. So he came down. I was shocked. I was like, you actually here? So we hung out for my birthday. We got a hotel, just chill. That's when I told him, like, I don't got my plates anymore. So he was just like, okay, well, now you just go to your granny house. I'll go to my mom's house. So we went to his mom's. And every day he'd come pick me up, take me to work, or take me wherever I needed to go.
Deja's birthday is August 7th. So around this time, Danye was back in St. Louis with his new Lexus. And he moved in with his mother and stepfather, where he slept on a couch.
Right, Shay, yup.
He started talking to his Uncle Daniel about getting into real estate. And by everything we saw in his phone data, he was very focused on this pursuit, though he did do other work for money, including being signed up for a temp service. And Deja says she is hanging out with Danye from that point on regularly, with him picking her up and driving her to work daily. Going through his phone, we found a few more interesting pieces of information surrounding Danye's last day alive. For one, Danye had been messaging with his younger brother Javon over the course of the preceding week about his car needing a new battery and also about wanting a job application for the call center where Javon worked. On the morning of the 16th, Javon asks Danye if he has gotten the new car battery yet, and Danye answers that he hasn't. At 2:29 in the afternoon, Danye asks Javon how much a battery will cost. Then, at 9:34 p.m., Danye texts Javon, "I've been asking for your help, but forget it." Javon responds to this at 10:09 p.m., saying, "What do you mean? You only asked me about the app and the battery." This back and forth seems to add another layer to the text Danye sent to Melisha at 9:35 p.m. that says, "Sorry, sis." The text the police and the pathologist interpreted as a final goodbye. Danye appears pissed off at Javon and seems to be admonishing his younger brother for having ignored him. And that makes us wonder
So that
if
was his
Danye's
sister.
text to Melisha, which he would write exactly 21 seconds later, really was an apology for his having ignored her when she was over at the house that day, as Melisha believes. It seems to make perfect sense. Danye is trying to get his brother's attention, and his brother isn't responding fast enough. Maybe a light bulb clicks on, and Danye realizes, crap. Here I am, mad at my brother for ignoring me. But I ignored my sister and her son when they came over. I should tell her I'm sorry. Danye never sent anything else after Javon's final texts at 10:10 p.m., possibly because he was outside of Wi-Fi range and never saw them. There was something else in the phone that we needed to ask Javon about. The Google location data from Danye's phone is hard to decipher, as it is just blue lines on a map. And as his phone had no cell service, his movement was only tracked when the phone was logged into Wi-Fi, which for the time period in question was only when Danye was at or near his house. We do see for the 16th movement around the house, and movement that seems to indicate that Danye headed south, perhaps only a few houses down, perhaps further if the signal cut out. We wondered if perhaps Danye knew somebody in the neighborhood whose house he could walk to, so we called Javon and asked him about it.
Now, I do know we had a friend, Terrell, that stayed. But see, I think his family stayed in the house. I don't think he still actually lived in the house. No, I think they was right to the left going towards that dead end. Our friend Terrell went to school with. He just stayed down there.
Rich Trell is somebody that Danye had gone to school with and had remained friends with over the years. Melissa refers to him as Danye's smoking buddy. We can see in Danye's text record that Trell reached out to Danye on the 16th at 2:43 p.m. to say, "New pressure on deck, 10 G and unplugging." This was followed by a series of emojis, one of a tree, a gas tank, a rocket, and a face with smoke coming out of the mouth. So, Trell is saying he has new weed available for sale. This seemed like an incredible lead. A friend within walking distance, who was staying in the direction that Danye's movement data suggested he traveled, and who had hit Danye up that afternoon to let him know he had good new weed. So we called Trell.
At this time, I stayed right across the street. At this time, I stayed 7 houses right from. So the last house he lived in was about 7 houses away from the house you were in? Yep, I stayed right at that corner house.
According to Trell, he had stayed at various houses in the neighborhood, as he had various family members there. But at the time of Danye's death, he was staying in a house to the south of Melissa's and to the east, just over the railroad tracks behind her yard. This would align with the movement data we see on Danye's phone. We asked Trell when he saw Danye last.
So his last day was the 16th. So you're thinking probably about the 14th, something like that is when you saw him? Around 30.
That's 2
days. It was about a couple days before everything happened. He was in house period. That man loves being alive.
So at first, Trell says he saw Danye a couple days before. We told Trell we saw the text he sent Danye about having new weed for sale. And since we didn't see Danye respond to that message, we asked if Danye just popped by, or if he ever just stopped over unannounced.
Danye definitely just popped up at my house. He wasn't the Pablo type. He always informed me that he was coming home, because I never let nobody just pop up at my house anyway. Did he call you that day? Not that night. He was working on the car right outside his mother's house that day. The day that happened. You know about what time? It was like 3 p.m., 2 p.m. He had his head all up in the car. I said, "Boy, you blacking. Blacking is you're not paying attention to your surroundings. That's blacking."
According to Trell, he had hung out with Danye a couple days before his death. He saw Danye on the 16th out on the street working on his car, roughly in mid-afternoon, roughly around the same time he texted him about having the weed.
Did Danye ever respond to your October 16th? I got all types of gas on deck text. He didn't read no message past October 4th. He didn't open up that new pressure on deck on the 16th. He never opened that message.
It was odd that Trell told us the last time he saw Danye was a couple days before he died, and then went on to say he saw him that afternoon on the street. But perhaps he means that was the last time he hung out with Danye and not just saw him in passing. It was so frustrating that this promising lead seemed to be a dead end. But back in Danye's phone, we find that there is, around September 13th, some sort of mysterious event that has Danye quite upset and possibly seeking revenge. This is evidenced by text to 3 different numbers. The first is a singular text he sent to a number stating plainly, "I found out where dudes stay at." The next is a text he sends to a friend of his who lives about 3.5 hours drive west in Springfield, Missouri, Maishiana. He tells her, "Been good, a lot of BS though. Everybody getting jammed up, MF getting popped. In a bit I'll probably need to duck off for a week there." And finally, there is a series of texts he sends to Deja, the first of which reads, "Marcel, 23, dark skin. I found out where he stay. Delete this after you got it." Note, Danye gave Marcel's full name, but we are withholding it because the accusation against him is pretty heavy and has not been proven in a court of law. Deja replied, "I got you." Danye then sent Deja pictures, which we cannot see, but presumably contain Marcel's image. She asks, "Who on the first picture?" So perhaps the pictures contain several different people. The next day, Danye asks Deja, "Can you have your peoples line it up?" We never see a definitive end to this conversation. On September 16th, we see that Danye and Deja had a video chat, and we also see that before the first text in the series was sent, at 10:20 a.m., Danye called Deja. So the whole thing where he names Marcel and sends photos of him and asks if her people can line something up, and she says, "I got you," had some greater context that now only Deja knows. But it's pretty obvious Danye is angry about a recent event. He wants Deja's help addressing it, and he thinks he may need to go hide out in Springfield. We asked Melissa if she knew Marcel was.
I know him.
You do?
That's the one that shot at Javon and Damon.
Is this the friend that you referenced?
Yes.
Oh, same guy? Oh,
That's when he got shot.
Danye's best friend Damon was seemingly hanging out with Danye's younger brother Javon on September 12th, 2018, when Damon was shot 4 times, allegedly by Marcel. The alleged motive for this shooting was that Javon and Damon had recently hung out with Marcel's girlfriend, and she had posted something of this hangout on Snapchat.
He seems very mad about this.
He was. Danye and we went to the hospital. They only let him go in and see him. He came back out. He was. So I told him, I said, "Listen, you have to let the police handle this. You know, the police is not going to do anything." He said they
That's his mother speaking.
And I told Javon to go and talk to the police about it. And me and Danye got into it because Danye said that if Javon goes to the police, then they can come back.
Hey, as one divided before.
And I said, "Well, I just need you to stay out of it."
Melissa also thought Danye was probably asking Deja in those texts for help getting a gun.
So you're thinking that him talking to Deja about this, can your people line it up? He's trying to get a gun through her.
Probably so.
Did Danye hope to get a gun so he could exact revenge against Marcel? Is that why he thought he might need to lay up in Springfield? Or was it something else? Perhaps trying to arrange for other people to do the dirty work?
I mean, this is speculation, but do you think Danye would do something so far as, like, try to arrange to get Marcel hurt?
Danye would do it himself.
Okay.
He would do it himself. When it comes to his family, this is what I'm saying. He did not play about us. And when I say he was like my protector, he was my protector. Our protectors. He did not play if someone came after us.
Danye's protective nature is a large part of the reason Melissa does not believe he would have ended his own life. But as far as these texts are concerned, again, only Deja knows for sure what Danye was asking for. In episode 6, Deja told us Danye and Melissa had been fighting before he died. This whole series of events, Damon and Javon being shot at, and Danye wanting to seek retribution, it's what that fight was about. By September 19th, a week after the shooting, Melissa says police had Marcel in custody. She had a long text conversation about it with Danye, which boiled down to the fact that Danye didn't want anyone to snitch, because he believed that would be traced back to Javon, and then Javon would be targeted. He told Melissa the Marcel problem was going to be handled at the street level. Here she is, reading part of this text chain.
The streets was going to take care of that. He knows a lot of people. I said,
was going to take care of him when? After somebody else is killed? So he says, that's what I'm saying. And the first people they will look at is Javon. So what he was saying was he didn't want Javon to be implicated on anything. He said, tell Javon to get a gun is all I'm saying. After that, me and him, we had our words. We got into it. That's when we got into it, and he left.
That we can tell, based on a record search, this Marcel person never was charged for shooting at Damon and Javon.
Oh, wow.
Stop for a moment and think about this timeline of events from Melissa's point of view. In August of 2018, Melissa aids a stranger, Kaywin, after he is shot on West Florissant Avenue. The next month, in September, her son Javon is shot at while hanging out with her other son's best friend, Damon. Then, in October, Danye is found hanged in Melissa's backyard. This woman knew 4 young black men who were the victims of fatal or near-fatal violence over the course of 3 months, 2 of whom were her own sons, and none of whose cases seemingly received a satisfactory investigation. Neither Damon nor Javon wanted to talk to us much about Marcel or the shooting. We couldn't help but wonder if Marcel was at least part of the reason Danye seemed so anxious and maybe paranoid in his last week or so of life. Danye's phone was really a treasure trove of information, and there's no way to possibly cover everything that we found. A quick note, we found absolutely zero hint that Danye was interested in men sexually in any of his data. In fact, quite the opposite. He seemed very interested in women, so anyone with lingering thoughts that perhaps a hidden homosexuality was secretly eating at him, just know there's no real smoke there.
Okay, he made that very clear because there was accusations saying, oh, he was gay, he was this, he was that. He wasn't that. He liked him some girls, okay? He liked him some women, okay? So he made that very clear. No smoke there. I'm going to end this in a few more minutes, and then we'll do the other part next time like we did before, but let's finish. This is something, I'm telling you.
In fact, searching his phone data, we found nothing that hinted at depression or suicidal ideation in his texts, nothing in his email, and nothing in his Google searches.
Look at that.
Yes, he had some struggles. Right. Real estate deals that didn't work out, and a car that needed attention, a late payment that was keeping it from operating. But remember back in episode 5, we talked about how Danye was reconnecting with his ex-girlfriend Laretha? Unlocking his phone is how we know that. They texted back and forth on the 15th of October after 7 p.m. They had a long conversation in which Danye told Laretha he was getting his business up and running, and she said that was exciting. She said both of their birthdays were coming up in the next month, so he asked her what she wanted, and she answered that she wanted perfume and a promise ring. She said she wanted to hear all about his business and suggested that they go to a restaurant that weekend, to which Danye said, that sounds good. And she said, okay. The next morning, on what would ultimately be the last full day of Danye's life, at about 10 a.m., he texted Laretha, good morning, beautiful. We don't know if he called her that day or if she called him, so the phone didn't ultimately reveal if Laretha is who Danye went to see the night he died. But clearly, he had things to look forward to. There was only one thing in the whole phone that pointed to Danye having suicidal intent. And when we found it, it hit us hard. Very hard.
We went into his YouTube searches, and there's like 20 searches. I'm going down and I'm finding everything you'd expect. Music, maybe some car stuff, real estate. And then there's a search for a very specific phrase, which is how to tie a hangman's noose with a blanket.
Looking into someone's phone data is an eerie modern proxy for looking into their minds. Seeing photos Danye took from his cross-country journey, hearing the music he liked, knowing which games he liked to play, it all helped us feel strangely close to him. There was a video in his Google Drive in which he's sitting with some friends, and as music plays in the background, he's smoking a hookah and blowing smoke rings quite well. When a young woman goes to blow smoke rings herself, Danye imitates her, making good-natured fun of her, mocking her face. Everybody in the room is cracking up laughing. There he was. Everyone who knew Danye well told us he was so funny and silly. And now we can see that it was true. He was. We'd play it here if it weren't for the fact that the comedy is so purely physical, and there isn't much to hear other than the room laughing hysterically in response. A phone full of texts, posts, and search history that all seemed normal and healthy, but for this one YouTube search. How to tie a hangman's noose with a blanket. Searched for on October 16th, the last day of his life.
Wow.
Upon finding it, we thought, this is it. The clue we've been looking for. The piece of evidence that tips the scale of certainty in one clear direction. Or does it? That's next time on After the Uprising.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect that. I know, Shay, right? Wow. Oh, my God. Ooh. Okay. Whew, that was a lot to deal with. Okay. So, let's just sit over here for a minute. Let's just take this in before I end the live. I just don't want to end it like that. Like, that was a lot. Shay, you want to come up here on the panel real quick and say something? That was just, whew. Okay, so this is, okay. Let me just get it together. We're going to have to dig into this. I'm the one doing the work. I'm going to have to dig into this case big time. I don't believe he killed himself. I don't care what that's. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I can't say I don't believe it. I don't know this case that much. So let me backtrack what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know this case at all. I don't know. I just know what I'm showing you guys. And I didn't know that. So what y'all heard is what I just heard for the first time too. Now, knowing that his name would be a lot, just like Jelani's name would be a lot on this channel, his name is going to be a lot on this channel, because now we're going to be doing a lot of talking about him on this channel. Yes, Shay, would you like to come up before I end it? I'm going to start doing this every live. Before I end the live, I pick one person to come up and say how they feel and stuff, because I noticed just leaving a live like that, when there's so much of these cases that hinders you, I want to see how you feel and what's like. No, you don't want to. Oh, you said you were shy, right? I think you said that before. You shy. Okay. I just want to know if everyone's okay, because that was a lot to deal with. Patricia, would you like to come up? Or D, would you like to come up? Anyone as one divided? Anyone? Any one of you can come up and just say what you have to say before I end it. I just want to make sure everybody's good, because sometimes ending the live without making sure that you guys are good, I don't want to do that. I want to check on you guys too, to make sure everyone's mentally and stably okay. I know I'm not a therapist, but there's a lot of stuff that we be listening to, and there's a lot of stuff that we talk about on this live. So instead of me just ending it like that, I need to know that my Brooklyn squad is okay, because I care. So we will be talking about him a lot more. And I have to dig into this a lot. Just like I do with Jelani and Aaliyah, I have to do with him too. And there's other cases that I'm going to be bringing to you. There's just so much going on with me. Like, do I have to show my face? You don't have to show your face. Only because I know that you're not one of those crazy people that came on the other day with his penis showing and stuff. Those we're gonna talk about that on my next live. But no, you don't have to show your face. But if you want to come up here and say a few things about it, you can. Because I have to end this because, you know, I got to cook for hubby. I mean, I could bring y'all along with me to go cook shit, you know, but no. She's like, it's all right, Shay. Next time. All right. But I just wanted to make sure everybody's okay. This is wow, I didn't expect that last part. It's not the end of the tape either. It's not the end of the podcast. So we left off on that was the streets was gonna handle it. Let me see where's the next one. Okay, the next one is called Navy Knot. So remember that, y'all. The next one is called Navy Knot. All right, hit me up on Facebook. All right. So guys, I just want to say I adore y'all so much and I'm grateful for you guys. I don't know if I might come back on later. It is early. I mean, I'm not cooking a big meal. He wants some eggs and stuff for dinner. So, but I want to look at some research with Dante Jones. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. If I do come back on later, I will let you guys know. Check out my shorts videos. I think y'all for also comment as well. I keep forgetting to tell you guys my podcast is called True Crimes Brooklyn Squad on Anchors. Please check it out. Please check it out. I am going to post the link next time if I remember. But if you are a moderator of mine, please post my links up on my platform, my podcast, and also my website. I truly appreciate it. And my Instagram and my TikTok and everything else. Okay? I'm everywhere. Almost everywhere. Yes, Shay Shay. Yes. On Facebook, yes. All right, guys. So I'm gonna end it, and we will catch back up. I gave you guys 2.5, 12, almost 2.5 hours. Time be going so fast, right? Jeez. But I adore you guys, and please hit the thumbs up, and let's go out with a
Hey, Brooklyn Squad, what it do, y'all?
And that's a wrap for that, y'all. And see you later, Brooklyn Squad. I'm out. Peace.